Hey guys, this is Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another episode review of Superman and Lois. Obviously, the best DC CW TV show on the CW right now, and this show keeps just getting better. Essentially, in this episode, we get Superman stopping most of the people in Smallville from having the kryptonite personalities. As well as we get the more of an understanding of the backstory of how Morgan Edge was raised on Earth. Now, where the episode picks off from last week is where we last left off last week, the end. Essentially, we leave off beginning with Superman and Morgan Edge, and essentially we find out that Morgan Edge is Superman's brother, well, technically his stepbrother, and we find out that his name is Tal-Rho, and he is the son of Superman's mother, Laura, and Zeta-Rho. Now, his whole thing is he wants to further Kryptonian heritage on Earth, and Edge says he wants his brother by his side, but obviously Superman's like, you're insane, I'm not going to do that and stuff like that because you're putting these kryptonite people in, or these kryptonite personalities into these people and stuff like that, so I'm not going to do that. Eventually, that's when Morgan Edge kind of is like, well, guess what? Either you're going to join me or you're going to side with humanity, and he kind of just dips. Now, we find out that Lois is trying to get in contact with Lana, but obviously she's not near her phone and stuff like that now. The thing is with that is Lois eventually goes over there thanks to General Lang being able to find where she's at. And as it looks like Kyle's about to explain everything to her, Lois shows up, and then that's when kind of the Kryptonian personality in Kyle heats up, and then Dana almost takes out Lana and Lois, but because Lois has a kryptonite, I think little kryptonite rock on her, she manages to power down Kyle. The DOD comes in, manages to apprehend him, and then he's kind of put in a cage for the rest of the episode and stuff like that. So yeah, now when Clark eventually goes to Fortress of Solitude to ask how can he turn this around and make people back to normal, Jor-El is like, listen, I can't do nothing because, listen, this is before me and your mother even were together and stuff like that. So you would have to ask your own mother, what to do. And technically his mother, Clark's mother, is not there anymore. So yeah. Now, we see Sarah and Jordan and Jonathan talk in the diner. They bring up the fact that her dad essentially was body snatched and his body has been taken over by an old Kryptonian personality and stuff like that. So eventually what happens is they kind of get themselves in thanks to General Lang to go see him, and obviously Sarah's kind of distraught because she sees how different her dad is. The Kryptonian personality within Kyle was telling Jonathan, when I get out of here, I'm going to kill you. We now know what happens later on, so that's probably not going to happen, but who knows? So yeah, now, also the big important thing is, in order to get down, the understanding of this whole thing to maybe reverse people back is find the doctor that did this. They eventually find the doctor. They essentially get him to go with them and cooperate. And essentially, the doctor doesn't know how to essentially reverse the effects of having the Kryptonian personalities in these Smallville human people. But that's when Clark realizes that they're going to need his mother to do that. But in order to do that, they're going to do the same process by getting somebody to take on his mother's personality. And the only problem with that is that means they're going to have to essentially have somebody volunteer and kind of make a sacrifice of their body to have Laura come in. Now, the person who wants to do it ends up being Lana Lang because she blames herself for everything that's happened because she feels like she was the person that led all these people to get into the trouble they are here. Even though absolutely Lois is against it, Lana's like, I'm going to do this regardless. Then you have Superman talk to her. Again, I don't know how Lana cannot see that that's Clark, but okay. Anyways, that's the one thing about Superman that I'll never understand. This dude wears no mask whatsoever. He just takes his glasses off and all of a sudden people can't recognize him. anyways, yeah, so what happens next is she goes through the whole device and she comes out and she's got obviously Laura's personality, and that's when you have Laura essentially explain later on in the episode that the only way to reverse the effects is to really put these Kryptonians into the device and just do the opposite one by one. But the only problem with that is they can't really do that because one, they're evil Kryptonians, and two, I think they're going to be very resistant to not, surrender their personalities and give back into the host and stuff like that. So that's when Superman's like, well, isn't there a way to disperse this energy across a whole area? And obviously Laura's like, well, that's not possible because we don't have the power source and everything. Now, what happens next is after Morgan Edge recalls Superman, because Edge sees that Superman took the machine and stuff like that, and he's like, it seems like Superman made his choice. So again, Superman talks to Morgan and she tries to tell him, like, listen, I'm just pleading with you, don't do what you're gonna do. But obviously Morgan Edge is like, well, you're just going to, or before that, that's when Morgan Edge gets into his backstory. So we find out that he landed to Earth way before the destruction of Krypton, because obviously Laura foretold that the destruction of Krypton was imminent. But the only difference too compared to Clark is he showed up on Earth as a teenager, and you have some of these people that show up, the first people, kind of scared of him and everything. He ends up killing them, and then he kind of gets captured after being chased. He gets tested on, but the moment he gets into sunlight, that's when he activates his powers, and it was a pretty cool looking shot. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty cool looking shot when he turned around with the lighting in the background. You just see his eyes light up red, and essentially Morgan Edge, he's like, humans are wrong, they're dirty, they never treat me right. And Clark's over here is like, listen, yes, there are some humans that are bad, but not all of them are bad. You have to see the good in them. But Morgan Edge doesn't really believe that. So yeah, the catch, anyways, the thing is, they cut back to Smallville and they see all these people who had the Kryptonian personalities within them fly up, and it was like a dozen of them. And what happens is it's kind of a chase scene. What Clark or Superman manages to do is telling him, listen, I'll take the device, I'll go into the air, I'll create a supernova, and it'll get everybody back to normal. But General Lang makes a mention, you'll kind of be out of commission for some time though, some days. And he's like, listen, that's a chance I have to take. We have no chance. We have no time. So that's what exactly Superman does. Thanks to the other Kryptonians doing their heat vision, along with Clark's heat vision, Superman manages to turn everybody back to normal, including Kyle and Alana. So everybody's back to normal. This kind of throws a wrench into Morgan Edge's plan. Superman kind of lands in the Fortress of Solitude, obviously trying to recuperate and re-heal, because he's probably going to be out of commission. We don't know how long and stuff like that. And in terms of Morgan Edge, it seems like obviously his attendant wasn't affected by it, because I think she was somewhere else, nowhere near the blast. But it seems like they got a new base of operations, because obviously they can't go anywhere as Morgan Edge and stuff like that, because now the DOD is hunting them down and stuff like that. So I'm guessing now what's going to happen next week is now the people of Smallville are going to find out that what Morgan Edge was doing was wrong, and that he was just a cheap scamp type of person. So yeah, but that's kind of it of the episode. I thought the episode was really good, and I definitely can't wait to see next week. It seems like we're going to dive a little bit into the past of obviously Clark and stuff like that, which we've seen 1,000 times, but just see, like, I guess his true beginnings. But I thought it was a good episode, and I very much enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see next week's episode. So yeah, other than that, guys, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of Superman and Lois, as well as hit that subscribe button to get more Superman and Lois content or any of the other DC CW TV shows. Other than that, guys, hopefully you guys are having a great rest of your day or night or whenever you're checking out this video. Until then, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.